This Detroit Bob, I'm a little rattled right now. I just got off an 11-hour flight, literally got in from this magical place. I told you I was going to look far and wide for records, and I went about as far west as you can go. I'm talking Fantasy Island. I'm talking the magical state of Hawaii. And guess what? I've got some vinyl I'm going to share with you. This channel is blowing up. Last week episode up in northern Michigan with Tim. I'm getting so many views. Make sure you subscribe so we can keep this thing going. And make sure you find out what's in the little bag. Oh, and we might also start the 5 C's of record collecting by Detroit Bob. So you might get one of them today, so make sure you listen up. Coming soon.
Alright, Detroit Bob, and we're on our way to Hawaii. This is the farthest west I've ever gone in search of vinyl. But in reality, it's a 35-year anniversary trip with the girl whose first date I had at a record store back in 1988. So I'm on a plane. I'm getting settled in, and I'm looking forward to finding vinyl in the great state of Hawaii. We're packed, we're ready to go, and we just have to make a quick stop in Vegas, and we'll be back up in the air and ready to roll. So far, so good. I'm excited. I'm ready to look around this island and take on the challenge. There are no record stores where I'm going, so I'm relying on my second-tier sources. I've got a lead on a bookstore, I got a lead on a thrift shop, and after that, it's getting real slim. I'm either gonna strike it gold or I'm gonna come home empty-handed. Wish me luck. I'm thinking 2 things off of the top of my head. I know that Hawaii has a lot of Japanese culture and influence, so if I can find something from Japan, I'm going to be thrilled. I also know last time I was in Hawaii, I saw a great jazz concert in Honolulu. So if I can get some jazz or something Japanese, I think it would be a great collectible, and it would be a great souvenir of this trip. Plus, it would be something that would be a lot harder to find on the mainland. So I've got a strategy, I just got to work it. Approaching the island, I'm getting excited. I'm looking down and seeing beaches all the way from our plane. And this island must be the place because we just passed through the rainbow. So a pot of gold or vinyl at the end of the rainbow would be a perfect ending to this trip. We're 11 hours in, we're touching down, and it's time to hit the streets, sands, beaches, mountains, and forests of Kauai. Follow along. When you land in Kauai, the first thing you realize, you're in the middle of a lush tropical rainforest. This resort is cool. We got the honeymoon suite. We got a nice upgrade and a perfect view of the water, pool, and right away they're doing the Hawaiian torch lighting ceremony. I'm liking the vibe of this place, and I'm liking the vibe of this island. Hey Detroit Bob, I collect old records. Right now I feel like I'm on the set of Fantasy Island, and who knows what we'll find. I'm more likely to find dinosaur bones here in Jurassic Park than vinyl at this point, but I'm loving this. We are definitely not in Kansas anymore.
So these whole bracelets are made of a natural bead called Job's Tears.
Okay.
And this is how they grow wild. They look like this.
Is it something that they find in the water?
It grows in the ditches because it likes a lot of water.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's from a plant.
Yeah, and the name Job's Tears comes from the Bible, the book of Job.
Oh, yeah,
And it represents his tears for all he lost. What I like about Job is that no matter what trials he went through in life, he never gave up hope.
Wow.
The bracelet is a reminder to never give up.
My grandson's name is Amos, and that's also a book in that Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Cheers, man. Coming from Michigan, I know if I find a lighthouse, I'm going to get a great view of the water and the shoreline. Usually the path leading up to the lighthouse is very dramatic also. So this was one of our first stops after the Fantasy Island waterfall. No, we didn't see Hervey or Ricardo Montalban or even Deplane. But what we did see was this wild seascape everywhere we turned. At this point, I've totally forgotten about looking for records. I'm just visually overwhelmed by the lushness and the beauty of this landscape. So we will get there. Bear with us, but I couldn't pass this stuff up without showing you guys a peek. There's waterfalls to the left. There's waterfalls to the right. There's misty mountains, and there is incredible valleys and canyons. The mist forms. There's a little rain shower every once in a while, but you really, really are far away. I can see why they filmed Jurassic Park here, and I can see why they filmed Fantasy Island here also, amongst many movies. Oh, there she is. The girl I took to the record store 35 years ago. We're going to take in a little bit more sun. We're going to take in a little beach. And we're going to find that first thrift shop here coming up. But right now, it looks like even the surfers are going to catch a wave. And this is the place to do it. Kauai, Hawaii.
No, go ahead.
No, we work here.
You are
Oh, okay.
You need
We
to go.
work here.
You guys have any old records?
We have very few
Yeah?
vinyls. They're in the back on the floor near the rack.
Thanks.
Yeah, they're $1 each.
Okay, cool.
They don't pass, so you don't have them for very long.
All right. All right, this is Jurassic Park record search.
I got a bunch of little kids' shoes back here. I'm almost finished.
Wow. And that is their record section. That's it. No 45s here, unfortunately, but I always skim through the albums. You never know. You could find a Dark Side of the Moon or an old Bob Dylan, but I don't think so today. All right, Detroit Bob, I love old records, but I can't find any. This is a good little shop, and they gave me a tip, so I'm going to walk out of here empty-handed. After getting skunked at that first thrift store, I was starting to panic a little bit. If that was going to be the case everywhere we went, I was in trouble. But we woke up the next day, the weather was awesome, and we decided to go in our car down south to a little town called Laihui. But first, I want to give you a tip, part of what I call the 5 C's of record collecting. Here it is. Tip number 1.
All right, I'm going to talk about the 5 C's of record collecting. And number 1 is condition, not conditioner. Okay, when you're looking for records, you don't want anything that's too scratched up to play. I will tolerate some hiss, but you don't want anything that skips. So if you got something that's not a new record, that's not sealed, you might want to ask to play it before you buy it. Give it a good visual inspection. Take it out of the sleeve. Look at the A side. Look at the B side. Get it home. Play it right away. Usually they'll accept a return if you have the receipt and you bought it within a week, okay? But don't wait a month later and say, hey, it skips. So C for condition. Start there.
Back in Kauai, this place called Lava Lava is becoming our go-to for happy hour. The closer to the water, the closer to the beach, and the cooler the cocktails are, the better place to rehash the day and see what the wins and losses are. It's really hard to lose when you have this beautiful view. Oh, there she is, the beautiful woman that I took to that record store 35 years ago. Beaches are everywhere. We were pulling over to rocky beaches, sandy beaches, beautiful landscapes abound all over this island. And it's a photographer, a cinematographer's paradise. I would love to just spend a month filming this island and all its beauty. Far and few between are record stores and vinyl shops, but it's easy to get lost in the landscape and the beauty of Kauai. Bring a light jacket. Oh, the plane! I finally saw it. But this day was nice. The weather was beautiful, but the problem was we didn't find any vinyl, and I'm going into full panic mode now. As the night went on, people were congregating around the hot tub, and it really reminded me I need to slow down and just relax. I felt like I was staring at my future. I felt like I was reliving the past from 35 years ago. So, one thing about island life, it was forcing me to chill. And I really liked it. And it was really cool. So, if you want a place to go, not only to search for vinyl, but to just celebrate 35 years, go to Kauai. Laihui again. Here we are, we're on another adventure. We're gonna head south from Laihui and find this darn bookstore. So bear with us. All right, we're heading down to the south part of this island. I got a lead on a humane society that may have some vinyl. And there's supposed to be a bookstore down here that has some vinyl. But we gotta sneak in a little sightseeing first. I'll give you an update later. There's nothing but green vegetation and mountains all over this island. We did the obligatory Canyon Lookout State Park. And I'm always suspect of these places because I hate getting caught in a tourist trap. But they call this place the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, and I can see why. And once again, zero in because there's another waterfall, and it is incredible. And these are the type that you see in the movies and you see on all these old films from the 50s all the way up through modern time. Jurassic Park, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Fantasy Island, and dozens of other Hollywood productions have been filmed here. It's a really beautiful place. So helicopters are really the way to get around. If you want to see the Jurassic Park waterfall, you're using one.
Yeah, you guys ready for lunch today? Sorry, I gotta keep myself entertained, you guys, right? Okay, so here we go. This is probably what you'd hear.
Village, and we're going through an old town called Waimea, but there's a promising bookstore that sells records. So this little village, it looks pretty cool, like some kind of historic area, and we're looking for a bookstore. It's straight ahead, I can see it. Talk Story Bookstore. Some kind of dilapidated shack with an old Art Deco theater next to it. So we'll check it out. It says that they have records, so you never know. But here we are in Hawaii on a search for vinyl. Detroit Bob doesn't stop anywhere unless it's that promising. All right, Detroit Bob, I love old records, and this so far has been the most promising lead. This place is listed on Google Maps, and it says that they have records. So let's see what they got. All right, see if this place has records. I see vinyl. Oh, that's cool.
How old are they? Okay.
So this is your record section.
It is indeed.
Do you have any of the little 45s?
We have a few. Right
Okay.
this way.
Perfect. It's hard to find on this island.
A lot of stuff is hard to find.
Yeah. And, oh, cool. Okay, cool. That's promising. You mind if I roll a little video for my YouTube page?
Go ahead.
All right, cool.
Feel free.
All right. In there. Okay, I'm at a really cool bookstore. It looks promising. And the cat is already pointing me in the right direction towards the 45s. So this lady here has been very helpful, and I'm ready to start digging through some vinyl. Look at that. That's some good stuff. Old brown shoe. Wow. All right. We just take these down and set them on the counter. Interesting. Wow. All right, there's a place back here with a bunch of 45s unsighted, unsorted, new arrivals, unpriced. So this is where Detroit Bob likes to hang out. Let's see what we can find. I don't know if you guys saw the sign on the front of the store. Underneath the main sign, it said the westernmost bookstore in the United States. Well, that also means the westernmost vinyl record store in the United States. I was way out on a limb here, and I knew it. So once again, you're fighting against time and money to come out of here with something good. The problem is some of the stuff, and I would say 3/4 of it wasn't even priced. And that's where the gems are. That's where the good stuff is. And if I'm going to build the stack of records only to have someone come in and price them based on the fact that I'm ready to pull out my wallet, then we sort of have a odd situation. But I'm going through them anyways, and I'm going to come up front with a stack of records and see what happens. It's not your usual bin of records. Everything is sleeved in plastic, which makes these things slippery, and I'm used to going through dusty boxes and bins of Gary, Indiana, under-the-counter bargain, $50 a box, $20 a box type stuff. But this has been curated, and it's been meticulously set aside, sleeved, and enveloped. So it makes me a little worried, but let's get through it. The stuff up front was window dressing. You got several Beatles picture sleeves and that Amy Winehouse Nelson Mandela record. Very hard to find. It's sort of an unofficial release. It was a live recording of her singing at Nelson Mandela's 90th birthday party. I'm curious about it, but I've never really heard it or listened to it. If I could get an actual recording or a 45 of Valerie itself, that would be something I would jump on. And the pricing was $60 for 145. That's out of Detroit Bob's league, even for something that's very rare. But given that, I would pay that for Beatles $4.98 on VJ in a heartbeat. It's time to take it in for a landing and get out of here with some vinyl in hand. I'll do an assessment of what I have down the road, but I think if I walk out of here with some vinyl and get out of here with something decent, I think I'll be okay. I might not win the grand prize today, but it was definitely a cool stop.
No, I do not. Comic books. I would just hate to have them out there getting.
You can just talk it. Oh, for these. Okay. Hey, this is Detroit Bob. I'm feeling much better. Back from Hawaii. And guess what? What a great episode. And did we get vinyl or what? You know, I came back with a little disc by Al Wilson. I got another one here by Merle Haggard. And this thing is just clean and ready to play. And guess what? Even in Hawaii, they got great groups, great country artists like Loretta Lynn in Hawaii. So I even got one by Canned Heat. Let's Work Together. Everybody loves this song. But the gem of the week is on this label here. Same label as James Brown, by the way. And this is a group called the Tokyo Happy Cats. And it's 7-inch vinyl, 45 RPM. It's a single, released in the U.S. in 1970. So they were sort of like a Japanese girl group, and they're fantastic. I gave it a listen to yesterday. The genre is pop. The style is vocal/instrumental. And guess what? The median value is $5.16. High value is $23. Now, I paid $15, but I wanted to get something from Japan in Hawaii. I had it in my mind, and sure enough, I got it. So, total value on all those records, I paid about $35. And guess what? I got more coming. So we're going to do part 2 of Hawaii. Stay tuned. More vinyl on the other side of the island. But we went to the far west, as far west in the U.S. as you can, to bring you some great vinyl. And I won't stop until I find Beatles on VJ number 498.